So before I get onto the main point of this video, I just want to add a little bit more to what I was discussing last night with the opening ceremony of the Rio de Janeiro Olympics. They had a segment which I really enjoyed, and it was about this man. I've actually got a book on him, Alberto Santos Dumont. He was, by some opinions, the world's first successful aviator before the Wright brothers, but that, of course, is a matter of debate. Anyway, they had this segment where an actor was kind of playing his role in flying through Rio de Janeiro. It kind of reminded me of Leonardo DiCaprio in The Aviator, but they had the role of this actor playing Alberto Santos Dumont, and it looked like a kind of wooden box airplane. They also had a big segment on climate change, so I thought that was an interesting touch. Brazil, of course, is a country that is heavily impacted by issues like flooding and so on. Um, And just one more thing to add, there was an Olympic competitor. There is an Olympic competitor, Yusra Martini, I believe her name is. She's a 17-year-old, 18 now, Syrian girl who single-handedly helped to save a boat of 20 people by swimming for 3 hours, apparently pushing it. That is astonishing. And this is part of she's part of the refugee Olympic team, and is based in Berlin. But anyway, I want to get to the main point, and it is about the issue of I've just been watching some events on TV, particularly in boxing, and they focused. The BBC commentators were talking a little bit about the controversy around professional boxers being allowed into the Olympics. So I'm going to read out a report from Sky News. This is from June, and it is discussing this very controversial issue. So just bear with me whilst I read this out. It's not very long, but it is important that I read out all the details. Professional boxers will be allowed to participate at the Olympic Games in Rio this summer, the sport's governing body has confirmed. The International Boxing Association, IABA, voted on Wednesday to make a rule change allowing professionals to compete with 95% of member federations in favour. A total of 26 places in the Rio tournament will be made available at a qualifying event in Venezuela next month. And the report then continues. IABA's plan has been criticised across the professional ranks as a move that will go towards dangerous matches between established boxers and the inexperienced amateurs. Great Britain's men won 2 gold medals at the London Games thanks to super heavyweight Anthony Joshua and bantamweight Luke Campbell, who could now theoretically defend the titles 4 years on. And just to continue this report, bear with me, I need to take pictures from the screen. Unfortunately, it's the only way I can do this. At this stage, it is difficult to say how professionals will compete in Rio, but there will be some. They will have to go through the qualification system. It's my belief every athlete should have the right to go to the Olympic Games. The British, that is by, I believe, the IABA chairman. The British Boxing Board of Control has voiced its opposition to professional boxers competing in Rio. A statement said it is a belief of the British Boxing Board of Control that such a move is against the spirits of the Olympics, disrespectful to the many GB amateur boxers who through the Olympics cycle compete around the world in qualifying tournaments and is ultimately dangerous. It is the hope of the British Boxing Board of Control and many within the professional sport in Great Britain and throughout the world that IABA reconsider such a move that is not beneficial to the sport as a whole. A statement from GB Boxing, I believe that's okay. So that's just some more details about this. Okay, so clearly there's a discrepancy between some of the national governing bodies and the IABA. I have to say, from the very start when I heard this, I felt very, very wary of it. Um, I have seen the other side today. I've been looking at some of the opinions, and what people are saying is they don't understand the controversy because it should be Olympic level should be the best of the best. But here's the thing: if you have a professional, right, going against even the world's best amateur, that is still a dangerous situation. Professionals train and get involved in 12 round fights, okay? Even the best amateurs in the world are doing 3 round fights, 2 minutes, 12 rounds, 3 minutes. It's a completely different setup. And I think it is simply reckless having someone like Anthony Joshua at the level he is at now, taking on some kid who may be very good in the amateur field, but is basically just coming through. Um, the point about the Olympics, as far as I'm concerned, should be a gateway for the best amateurs in the world. Now, people are saying every athlete should have the opportunity to do this, but the point is, professional boxers already have opportunities in terms of title fights. At the very least, if they're going to bring in this move, at the very least, they should have a situation where the two people fighting are professionals or the two people fighting are amateurs. They no longer use that jargon anymore of amateur level boxing. They talk about Olympic style boxing. There has been other changes as well. The removal of the headgear. I'm actually in favour of that move. In the one fight that I've had, so I'm not talking from abundant experience here, but I had an amateur fight and I had to wear headgear. I found it cumbersome, distracting, and basically a nuisance. Ostensibly, the idea is to protect the fighter from hard shots, but there's several problems. Firstly, it makes it difficult to hear the referee because in my case, the slit holes were not great. It makes it hard to have coordination. It can sometimes blur your vision. If the other guy punches you and it kind of swivels around, there's a whole range of problems. But basically, to get back to the point about professional boxers at Olympic level, I just can't see the rationale behind this. I mean, can you really envisage a situation with someone like Manny Pacquiao or Gennady Golovkin gets in the ring with an all-knowing guy who's, I don't know, maybe had 50 amateur fights? Okay, so amateur level, you may be very good. But there is a world of difference between professional and amateur level. This is not a normal sport. It is a dangerous sport. I think it is utterly reckless. So I agree with the British Boxing Board of Control. And until someone can show me some sort of justification for this, I don't accept that it's about giving every athlete an opportunity because, as I say, professional boxers already have opportunities in competitive level. The people say, well, there's also competition at amateur level. There's world amateur um, competition and so on, tournaments, that sort of thing. But I think it is fundamentally reckless, and I just don't understand the rationale behind this. So if someone can enlighten me, I would be, willing to hear what they have to say. I just cannot understand the concept behind this. Um, giving opportunities to every athlete, fine, but then at least don't create a situation where you're clearly going to have mismatches. At least then have a situation where it's professionals versus professionals, amateurs versus amateurs. People say it should be for the best in the world. Yes, it should be for the best amateurs in the world. The whole point about the Olympics, in fact, there is a history of this. Muhammad Ali, Lennox Lewis, Amir Khan, Anthony Joshua. There's many other examples of Olympic athletes, Evander Holyfield, um, doing well in the Olympics, then going on to become prolific professional fighters. And that's the way it should be. Um, I keenly believe in opportunity when it comes to sport. I believe in creating as much opportunity for as many people as possible. But that shouldn't be at the price of a reckless move that is going to bring in mismatches. And I was watching some of the boxing today, actually, and there were professionals, the Azerbaijani guy, actually the Armenian guy, I should say, I forget his name, but he was apparently the Armenian champion. Now, in that particular fight, the Italian, who, as I understand, is an amateur, won. So it's not always the case that the professionals are going to be really, really prolific people. But I still think fundamentally the idea is flawed, and I have real concerns about it. And unless someone shows me something that people say, well, there will always be risks in boxing, but that doesn't mean, why increase the risks when it's not necessary? It just makes no sense to me. So let me know your thoughts. Just a side piece of information that is nothing really to do with this, but it's just an interesting side fact. 100 years ago, 108 years ago actually, Richard Gunn became the oldest man to win a boxing medal. He won the gold medal in London at the age of 37 years, 254 days. So that's inspiring to me. Another issue with the Olympics is age. And okay, granted, that was a very different Olympics a very long time ago, but you know, I do think that the Olympics should cater and give opportunities to as many people as possible, irrespective of age, um, and other factors. Of course, they have to be qualified. They have to be the best at what they're doing because Olympic level is Olympic level. You can't just let anyone in. And I fully understand there needs to be a vetting process that people go through in order to qualify. In some countries, obviously, certain countries are going to have much bigger teams. Other countries are going to have smaller teams. But the whole nature of the Olympics should be about opportunity for as many people as possible. Because with every piece of Olympic promotional material, that is the whole underlying theme. So I'm totally in favour of that. But let's not do it at the point of being reckless. So if you're going to have professionals compete in the Olympics, this has to be, you know, professional versus professional. Now, I have to say, when the voting process is going through, the Olympics is a very democratic process. According to the report, 95% were in favour. So maybe there are other details that I'm not seeing. And 95% is 95%. So I can't argue against that. I'm disappointed by it and I'm concerned by it. And I know there's many people in professional ranks who are. Johnny Nelson, who was a great British super middleweight in the 80s, he's voiced concerns about it. Many others have. I just think it will open up the path to mismatches and create a dangerous situation where you have seasoned fighters who may have been in 12-round title fights going against amateurs who've only ever done 3-round fights. That is clearly reckless. Um, and I know I'm repeating myself, but I feel quite strongly about this. Okay, so let me know your thoughts if you're into boxing. If you support this move, is there something I don't know? Is there something that I mitigated to say in this video? Um, Feel free to explain why you think it's justified, and we can have a civil discourse. I'm not saying this to start an argument with anyone. I mean this in all respect. I just personally think it's reckless, and I don't understand the rationale for it. Let me know your thoughts.